What is up, guys? It is so good to be speaking into the camera again, to be just sharing and thinking and learning. Oh, it just feels so good. Now, something that I learned today was youth has no age. Someone was talking to me today and they were telling me of their story, how they got divorced at 46. And at 50, they decided that they're going to go back to school. Not only go back to school, they decided they're going to achieve every career goal they've ever had. And when your life is half a century old, that must seem like you're climbing a mountain. That must seem totally impossible, especially when there's so many people who are ahead of you. And she told me of all of her successes, all of her failures, but most importantly, she said that at her age now, which is around 60 something, she says she has accomplished in the past 10 years all of the career goals that she has ever had. And that got me thinking that me, at the age of 18 or 20 or even 30, we get so discouraged because we see people around us who are so far ahead of us. We see people like, if you're a painter, you see people who can, obviously Pablo Picasso's not around anymore, but just for example, you have people like him who can just scribble a few lines and it's worth millions, you see. And so when we feel that, when we compare ourselves, we start to feel hopeless. And when we feel hopeless, we have less action. So less hope means less action, and less action means less hope, and so on and so forth. And you see how you can kind of trap yourself in a bit of a circle there when you start to realize the distance between where you are and where you want to be. And what I have found to be extremely helpful is to look on the flip side of this and realize that more action creates more hope, and more hope creates more action, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of either you pick your poison, either side is an extreme in and of itself. It's kind of a self-sustaining path that you choose, whichever one you choose to feed into. Whether you choose to have less hope and say, I can't do this, so I'm just not going to even try, and then you don't try, and then you say, see, I told you I couldn't do it, I just will keep not doing it because I feel so hopeless. Or on the flip side, you can say, wow, look at how much I've got done today. Even if I'm not receiving money for it, even if I'm not being told that I'm doing a good job, I know that I'm creating things. I know that I am flowing. So you see, the trick that I've found is to be present, meaning be totally immersed in whatever you have now and whatever you're doing now. A lot of people invest in a lot of equipment, expensive backdrops for YouTube videos and really good equipment for music and all this stuff. Yeah, that helps, sure. But what I have found is that the universe doesn't do pointless things. I repeat, the universe doesn't do pointless things. So if you're expecting life to give you all of these expensive things and all of these great tools that'll just unlock all your capacity, and yet you're not using what you have already, it won't come very easily. I can tell you that. I have been there. And there's a lot of others who have told me the same thing. And that actually brings to mind a quote from one of my teachers. And he says that when you learn to do more with less, you will then be able to do less and get more. Just like those artists who just scribble a few lines and it's a masterpiece, you will come to a place where you don't really have to even try so hard to get an instant reward. What you put out is what you get back. So today, tomorrow, every week, set aside time to do whatever it is that you love, whatever it is that your passion is, whatever it is that your dream revolves around. Because when you have a set momentum going, you know how when you start pushing something, it gains momentum and it's almost self-sustaining. You can push less and less and less, and it'll still go the same amount of speed, of distance. When you get that momentum going, you will feel it in your mind and heart that you are doing good, and that hope will create more action, and that action will create more hope, and so on and so forth. I hope that helps. Little tips that I've found that really get me motivated, and you're hearing that from someone who used to be a totally unmotivated person. If you see my middle school grades, oh my God. I actually remember the missing assignments list, which totally went down the wall just from my name. She had to literally tape more than one sheet just because I had so many missing assignments. Are you the same way? Are you unmotivated right now? It's okay. Don't worry. It's kind of going around. But remember that you are worth working towards your dream. You are worth channeling the energy of what you love into reality, and you are worth that alone time. Did you know some people only get alone time in the shower or when they're sleeping? Wow. Spend some time with what you love, and I promise you it will return to you tenfold. If you got questions, add me on Snapchat, Soul for Soul, SOLFORSOUL. I'm going to start just spelling it out in the description so I don't have to spell it by mouth. I love you guys so much. Peace to you, and have a beautiful night.